Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a GameReplays.org interview here for the Rise of Immortals section. Today we will be talking to Amanda Flock, the lead designer for Rise of Immortals at Petroglyph Games. How are you doing this fine evening, Amanda?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you guys?
Well, everything is just peachy on this side of the realm. You guys just did release that new patch. We already got that staff in and around those games looking to shed some blood. So, the first idea of making a MOBA for Petroglyph, how did you guys come to that decision?
So, the MOBA genre is relatively new as a genre in the marketplace, but it all kind of started with Defense of the Ancients, or Dota. And a few people in the company here have actually been playing MOBAs since Defense of the Ancients. And recently, or last year, when League of Legends and Heroes of Newerth came on the scene, they were both in their betas around the same time. We had a huge group of people here who just totally could not get enough of it. And when we realized the success, particularly of League of Legends being a free-to-play, which is a model Petroglyph recently got into with our previous project, Mythion, we realized that this was something that, being a strategy development house, we have the engine, we have the tools, and we have the passion for it. Why not go for it? So we actually made an in-house prototype. We played it, and the entire company had a blast. I can't remember a time in my 12 years of development of a prototype that everybody was clamoring to play. We could not wait until our weekly playtest to play on that prototype. So we knew we had something, and that's how Rise of Immortals pretty much came to be.
So the initial results are looking really good. That prototype, big demand item for you guys, and you ran with it.
Yes.
All right. So now with that prototype, I can only assume that those very early stages, you guys put your own unique spin on it, because I believe that you are adding a consistent element to the MOBA genre here. Can you elaborate a little bit upon what that is?
Yes. So our goal is not necessarily to reinvent the MOBA genre, but we want to bring something new to the table. We don't want to do more of the same for various reasons. And one of the first ideas we had was, okay, a lot of people play these games, and these games are really known for having a breadth of champions to select from. But there are a few people, myself included, who tend to pick one, master them, and stick with it. So we thought that putting persistence on the champion level, so taking things like the skill tree or the what are known as artifacts in our game, that's our persistent itemization, and the counterpart would be runes from League of Legends. And putting those on the champion level rather than on the account level would kind of foster that idea of mastering a character and progressing that character forward. Plus, it's also a great way to look at another player to see, oh, that player's level 25, and you have a realistic expectation of what that player is capable of with that champion.
So these consistent elements, are they purely cosmetic, or are they going to be affecting stats?
They will affect the character stats. So the skill tree, it's on the champion level, it's on the individual character level. So if you have an Iceland or an Icor, for example, and you get Icor to level 25, and then you purchase Lazarus and you decide to want to play him, he'll start out at level 1, and you'll need to keep playing him in order to earn your persistent, or what we call prestige levels, and put points into his discipline tree. The discipline tree, it works very much like masteries in League. We have an offensive and defensive tree that is universal. The skills that are available in those trees are the same for every champion. And then we have a unique champion tree, which is specific to that champion. What players can do by spending points in those trees is increase things like max mana per level. They can increase the potency of their abilities with these points. And they can... so every point that they put in is permanent, and they do have every individual point is a minor nudge of power, but altogether, the level 50 character versus a level 1 character, there would definitely be a power difference. Okay. Does that make sense?
It does, but it also reminds me very much of, the MMO universes. So, everything is character-wide. It's not account-wide, like, as you did say, League of Legends is based on. And, was that in your prototype, or is that something that came afterwards?
That was always once we made the prototype and we realized we had the technology and the pretty much the drive to make this kind of game, we started really focusing in on what are we going to do that is different, and not for the sake of being different, but what are we going to do that. What are we going to offer that is currently not being offered on the MOBA genre? And one of those things we felt was persistence on the champion level, as I said before, to reward and those players who kind of stick with a single champion. We also wanted to make sure that we're providing something that will fit in well side by side with the games that are currently out there. So you have League of Legends and you have Heroes of Newerth. They are different for various reasons. Then we wanted to be somewhere in the middle. We wanted to not only be somewhere in the middle as far as whether or not we're hardcore or more casual. The community our current beta community has often said that we seem to be kind of right in the middle between those two games. But we also wanted to be more character centric. I mean, we're not just about, oh, this champion's really cool and this champion counters well. We wanted to be, we have these really elaborate storylines for all of these characters. The visuals are really top notch. I mean, we spent a lot of time on the character designs just visually. So we really wanted to be kind of take those character driven RPG elements and put them into a MOBA in a way that made sense. And we really feel that what we've been doing with Rise of Immortals has actually been a nice marriage of those elements that are normally considered traditional RPG but do have precedence in the MOBA genre, and kind of really bring them a little bit more to the forefront as the core gameplay.
So it sounds like you guys definitely been putting a lot of thought into these things. And yeah, as you did say, the marriage of it does look very promising so far in the closed beta. So why did you choose the Graxia universe as your background, as your base of foundation for the game?
Well, Graxia is actually an original IP. It was developed in-house. We had quite a few designers who were a part of that project that put a lot of time into the lore. And we had a fantasy genre that was unique enough that we could be another fantasy game without being just another fantasy game. And what we've kind of done is Guardians of Graxia, the release title that Rise of Immortals is based on as far as the IP is concerned. What we've done is taken Rise of Immortals and say this is taking place 500 years in the future from the events in Guardians of Graxia. And we wanted to really add steampunk elements. We didn't want to be confined by the fantasy setting. The thing about these games is about having fun. It's not about necessarily taking yourself or taking yourself as developer so seriously that you're unwilling to go ahead and make a scorpion and then go ahead and make a scorpion guy who's also a cyborg. So we thought Graxia was a nice original IP, which works out great for us, and it was a really nice starting point as far as being a setting that is broadly familiar, and then being able to kind of inject our own unique flair.
Well, so far, as I said, it is working out. The visuals, the lore behind everything, it's definitely coming along. Now, the target audience for Rise of Immortals, are you guys going to be, you said you're somewhere between Heroes of Newerth and League of Legends, so are you going for more of a casual focus, more of a hardcore focus, or what's the direction there?
This may sound a little cliche, but we're kind of going for both. And the way that we actually think we're set up to accommodate both the hardcore, die-hard MOBA player and casual people who may be turned off or a little intimidated by PvP is our focus on PvE or co-op scenarios. We actually just released into our closed beta our 3VE, so that's a team of 3 players versus the environment. And that map seems to be playing out pretty well. It's our first pass at AI-controlled bots who are the enemies trying to push your base. And we really wanted to make sure that, as I've said before, that we're providing something new, but we want to kind of grab everyone. To be honest, not everybody at Petroglyph are hardcore MOBA players. We actually have quite a few, I'll say, seasoned veterans of the industry. And this genre of game is generally skews a little younger. So we have a lot of people who are brand new to MOBAs, and just going right into PvP can be incredibly intimidating. And what we've put together, I think we've proven internally anyway, is a nice balance of both. The hardcore people, we do have quite a few hardcore MOBA players, particularly our younger PAs. They have a great time playing the 5v5, and then our more casual